What's the haps? I'm Meroka, and today I'm going to be taking a quick look at Lovely Planet. We do seem to have a lot of planets going around at the moment. We've recently taken a look at Shattered Planet and Freedom Planet. Today it is the turn of the Lovely Planet. This is a game by QuickTequila Computer Video Games and published by tinyBuild Games. tinyBuild are going to be getting a reputation for themselves in no short time at all for producing very, very odd kind of things, and this is certainly no exception. This is a first-person shooter with a sort of very bold colour style and a sort of Japanese aesthetic, and it's all a bit strange. The menu is done in the first-person view, as is the game. It's a first-person shooter, and it's not a great menu, if I'm honest. I'm not liking this. We can get to the options by pressing F, obviously. This continues to be in the first-person view. We've got these giant levitating scrolls that we can move up and down through, and it's not particularly nice, I'm going to be honest. I'd rather just have a solid options menu than this levitating nonsense. So we can scroll up and down, we can change the resolution and full screen, nice to see, a VSync and up to 8x AA, which is fair enough. It's not especially a high graphical fidelity kind of game, so yeah, we've got music and sound effects can be toggled on or off. They are not on sliders, so it's off or on are your only options. That's kind of poor. Mouse sensitivity can be changed and you can invert the look, so fairly standard options there, rather basic. But wait, no, we don't want to quit. We want to press Q to go back. That's how we go back to the main menu. Main menu. So yes, F to go to options and Q to leave the menu. It's not the most intuitive of things. Anyway, we have these levels. We have a city and village, the first two levels that I have access to. I imagine I will continue going along this path as we unlock more levels. I'll take a look at the city levels. So if I click on that, we can then go to another giant levitating menu with lots of Japanese text and spinning things that I can't read. I'm sure it says something useful. And then some of it's in English for no apparent reason. And let's pick a level and hop on in. They're all fairly abstract kind of things. Let's go with a martini glass, why not? Let's have a drink. So this is a first-person shooter. We can run around, we can jump quite high, and we can shoot with this stick. We can shoot purple pixels with our stick that has a star, and if we shoot lots of things, the star spins really fast. This is the only weapon we have, and it has unlimited ammo. That's it, that's your weapon. This is the first-person shooter. The world is this vibrant, colourful, bold thing that very, very strongly reminds me of Katamari. Pretty much anything that's red and has got angry eyes is going to be an enemy. There are boulders, we have these triangles. If we shoot them, they will be defeated. So yeah, we've got these big squares, they are going to shoot back at us. And I'm going to try and dodge things. If I fall off, I can press R to recover. It's quite fast-paced. Most of the levels aren't going to be more than a few seconds long, in all honesty. Some take a little longer, but then it shows you the speedrun high scores at the end. It's like people have done them in like seconds. I don't know how that one died. Huh. It's a little strange. And then if you die, yeah, instantaneous. Back to the start. No messing about. No game over. Would you like to try again? Just boom, go again. So it's that kind of fast-paced thing. So that's nice when you're going to be dying, and you do. Early on, perhaps not so much, but some later levels, not even some of the later levels, some of the like second world levels, actually surprisingly challenging stuff. So I've got myself killed on more than a few occasions. So kind of got this maze thing going on. Step out and shoot things quick before they get you. And there's a few different mechanics introduced later on. So the first levels are mostly just a few enemies are going to shoot at you, shoot all the enemies, and get to the end. And don't do that. That's not how you do that. If you get to the end and haven't defeated all the enemies, there's like two different tiers of enemies. You kind of got the primary enemies, the ones that have got big angry faces. They do all need to be defeated. It is worth noting that these big red boulders if I step on them, they will kill me. But they do not have big angry faces, and I do not need to kill them to defeat them. They're just traps, I suppose, hazards of the world, not specifically enemies. But again, like with the rest of the enemies, I can shoot them and get rid of them in that regard. So let's get rid of him, and on to the next level. So there's a lot of that. So yeah, I took a little longer, but apparently world record is 9 seconds. So yeah, some people are going to be speedrunning this. It's probably a game that would be quite good for speedrunning, just how ridiculously fast-paced a lot of it is. There's a lot of it's quite twitchy. It's your old school kind of running around very fast, dodging lots of bullets, kind of that kind of fun shooting. Not this ducking for cover and waiting for the jam to fall off your face kind of combat. It's very much your old school fast shooting, which I do kind of like. The style just is really absurd for it though. Like I say, the music and the aesthetic, it's all very, very, I have to say, Katamari. It's all that it reminds me of, through and through. It's maybe less interesting than Katamari. I think Katamari had a lot more going on in the world. There was lots of things in the world interacting with each other and things that would happen. And in this instance, that's just a lot of big, bold shapes is mostly what it is. But these tomatoes that they throw at you occasionally that you do need to shoot out of the air, they're kind of an odd enemy. If you miss them, you instantaneously die for no obvious reason, but there's not much reason given for any of the rest of the game either, so I suppose that should come as no surprise. So, tell you what, let's head on into, let's leave this, let's head on back to, press Q to go back, obviously. Let's head on into the village. That is the second level, and it's a little bit more challenging, so let's head a few levels in. Where have I got to? I didn't think I got this far. Can I play any of the levels? Perhaps I can play any of the levels in any order I like. That would be... that's kind of interesting. In that case, I have no idea where I got to. Let's play staircase level. Love you. Ah, isn't that nice? It's got a bit of a different tune on here. Have I done this level before? I don't know. It doesn't look terribly familiar. It's got bouncy pads. These are a new mechanic. So, got tomato there, needs to be shot out the air. And these green pads will disappear after a couple of seconds after standing on them. Need to, yep. Yay. This is really unenthused cheer. I don't know what that's about. Yeah, you've got the green pads are going to disappear after a couple of seconds of standing on them. There's obviously they'll disappear if you shoot them as well, and there's an enemy on top of one of those pads, which I suppose you could perhaps snipe from a mile away, if you want to be really good about it. There is no crosshair in the middle of the screen though, so that can be a little tricky, so I can do that, I suppose. I kind of want to move quickly and try and, yeah, spam a few shots, and not fall off, because that's not how you win. So a lot of it's going to be, I think there's going to be a fair bit of trial and error. It's just going to learn the levels inside out. You're going to, practice makes perfect, and as I say, this is like the second world, and even these levels are fairly tricky, as you can see by my failing at it repeatedly. I mean, I don't tend to think of myself as being too bad at first-person shooters, but that's a fairly short level. These guys, if I shoot them, they will end the level as well. They're kind of a neutral party that you're supposed to not shoot, so... Oh, I missed one baddie? What did I miss? What have I missed? This is interesting. Sure. There's something over that wall? There's a little bit of exploration to this. Sometimes there's interesting paths to find. But... control's a little bit sensitive for my liking. Kind of difficult to move on some occasions. That's the tomato, and there we go. Game over because I was heading in the wrong direction. Yeah, you have to figure out where the triggers are sometimes, like the tomatoes, because otherwise, yeah, well, you're just going to die if you don't actually get to it in time. I'm not seeing any other enemies. You are not the enemy. You're going to end the level. How strange. What have I missed? I don't know. So this game I have found to be fairly frustrating on a few occasions, especially, like I say, these second levels. I think the first level just kind of eases you into the game, the city levels, and then the village level, it kind of turns up the difficulty and says, okay, here's some real challenges, and then suddenly you've got tomatoes flying everywhere, and it's considerably more difficult, so it's definitely a good challenge in here. Even if the levels are only a few seconds long, it might take you a little while to get through it all, just on how difficult they are. So we've got tomatoes in the air, another one flying through the air, I'm going to get shot at up there as well, and I'm going to miss that. So you're going to be juggling a lot of things. If you can get the shots just right, it's not bad. There's one. I don't think I've got that one. Have I got? Yes, I got that one. Woo! Nice one. Get you without getting myself killed. Chances are they'll throw more tomatoes as well, because it likes doing that. Yeah, I heard the thwack. It's like a golf drive kind of noise, isn't it? I presume that's the sound effect they used for that. It is teed off. The tomatoes are perched on tees. And sometimes spamming shots at them is a good way to get them. It's an interesting little title. I don't know if it's got any long-lasting appeal particularly, but yeah, it's a cute little title just to take a look at. It's not particularly expensive either. It is going to be $5.99 or your regional equivalent, and it is going to be out today on the 31st of April. And it's going to be a lot of this. I don't think there's much more to it than this. I think I've shown you much of what this game is going to be already, to be quite honest. I haven't found... Occasionally, like I say, they did throw a few new mechanics, like you got the springy pads and the smartos, mix things up a bit, and I would very much imagine there'll be a few more interesting things later on in the game, just to keep things fresh and different, but for the most part it's going to be lots of brightly coloured and pastel, strange Japanese shooteriness. It's, yeah, Katamari, the first-person shooter, is how I would describe it in a nutshell, I think. Oh, there's the exit. Level complete. Huzzahs. So yes, this is a lovely planet. I have been Meroka. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.